This is the Draft Guys podcast with Peyton and Niko coming at you live with a Los Angeles Rams 3-round mock draft. We're looking at their free agency. Pete, what's the biggest thing that stands out to you from what they did in free agency?
Yeah, I mean, they just completely snatched Kansas City's corner room. This is the only real moves they made. Cam Curl getting extension was a big deal. And then other than that, it was just their secondary. That was really all. Those three moves, they completely upgraded their secondary corner room specifically, as well as retaining Cam Curl was a big deal. So this secondary is going to look a lot different than it did last year. The weak point of that defense of this team was being able to pick on those corners, and you're not going to be able to do that anymore.
Very interesting to see. They didn't really supplement anything on offense besides retaining Tyler Higbee. Very interested to see if they'll have enough to get over the hump this year. I think that that's what they're really hoping to do, beat that Seattle Seahawks team that beat them in the NFC Championship game. Have no complaints there. We'll jump in to their 3-round mock today. And they're obviously mocked at pick number 13. We'll go through the picks. We're going to reject all the trades because this is a true mock. And you see the board. So we have Caleb Downs available at 13. You have Francis Maui Noah available here. I want to see if he's here. Ty Simpson is on the board. Someone to note for me, I'm looking at the Rams linebacker, safety, nose tackle, offensive tackle, and a QB2. Pete, what do you see?
Yeah, full transparency. If I was the general manager, I'd be slamming Ty Simpson. I'd be spreading this card in. For the sake of realism, I don't know if that's going to happen. And so I'm going to pivot to a different direction. And I agree with you. My first thought here is, offensive tackle. That's the first place I go, is supplementing that offensive line. And I think balancing with the aspect that this team wants to win now, and this is a team that wants to make a push this season. I think Maui Noah is the best player to do that. Monroe Freeling maybe has the higher upside long term, but Maui Noah can give you a Super Bowl push this year, whether he's a tackle, whether he's a guard. If you do have injuries on the outside, I think they're pretty happy with where their tackles are right now. Just for this year, if you do have an injury on the outside, he can play both sides of the offensive tackle. And so I think the value of getting a high level starter on the interior, as well as the flexibility to push him outside if needed, I think that's where they end up going in this spot.
I think Maui Noah gives them. If you look at our mocks, our previous ones, our War Room mock, this is where I had them. I had the odds, I had the Rams, I had Maui Noah going at this pick. So yeah, we're gonna put this pick in for Francis Maui Noah. I think also a long-term longevity type of thing. That offensive line room is kind of questionable in terms of long-term. You have Maui Noah now for 4, potentially 5 years on that rookie deal. That's going to be a game changer, especially with a team that's going to have a high turnover rate. You're going to have to pay Puka. Are you going to pay Devontae? You're going to have these defensive guys like Verse and Fisk who are going to have to get paid. Might as well get a really good offensive tackle that you don't have to pay for a while. We're going to put in Francis Maui Noah here, and we're going to go to their next pick at pick number 61. So let's see what the machine can give us
Yeah,
as
I'll
we
tell
go
you
through.
my first thought, as we see this board falling, I'm looking receiver here, and I don't know if how you feel about that. Oh boy, Caleb Banks is on the board.
Oh, that's wow, wow.
I would assume if this was going to happen in real life, that would be because of the injury and the foot concerns, and someone not wanting to take him because of that. I almost think that's like a little too unrealistic. I don't think he's going to fall to this spot to take him. But like I was saying, Devontae's getting old, and you're not going to get a full season out of Devontae every year. Man, this board didn't fall great. I don't really love the receivers here. Malachi Fields not being here is tough. Um, all right, well, what other options do we have? Where do your eyes go? What are you thinking here?
I think linebacker. I think they really need an interior linebacker. It's the one thing in their line. Their defensive line is super good. Obviously, they revitalized that secondary. I'm looking at the linebackers. I don't know if I trust them as much since Ernest Jones left, and Bobby Wagner left. You need to supplement it, and I see three really good options here at 61. Specifically, obviously Anthony Hill is here, falls again. Number 32 ranked on my big board. He's going to come in at that linebacker. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 range, depending on the draft. Probably the number 4 range. Josiah Trotter, very high on Josiah Trotter as well. He's going to come in at my number 45, and then Jay Gold is going to be like shortly after them, at a number 56 range. So I'm thinking linebacker. What are you thinking?
I totally agree. And you've got really three really good, but also three really different options. You've got a downhill guy in Anthony Hill Jr. You've got a guy that I think is really good in pass coverage in Jake Golday, and then you've got kind of everything that thumper with Josiah Trotter, more of a heavy-handed linebacker. And so if you want the true green dot linebacker, I think you take Golday here. He's kind of the one that I would trust more to be that true Mike. Anthony Hill, I don't know if I trust to be a true Mike linebacker on every down. And I think if maybe you see that differently, although I do have Trotter and Hill above Golday, they're all very similarly ranked, and I think I value the true green dot aspect that Golday could bring.
I think it's the one thing that they're missing. They're missing that true green dot linebacker. They have Nate Spielman there, but I don't think since Bobby Wagner left, like I said, and some of those guys like Ernest Jones, you don't have that guy. Jake Golday is not going to be faster than Anthony Hill or Josiah Trotter, but he's going to bring those tendencies. We're going to take him here. Really good pick with what's on the board, and we'll move to the pick at number 93, and we'll see what the machine has for us. And we'll look. Okay, so obviously they just nailed their linebacker. They just nailed their offensive tackle of the future. Is there
Mm.
anybody quarterback wise that you would go here? I don't think so. Not really tempted. Looking at the wide receivers. Oh, are you seeing what I'm seeing at the wide receivers?
I am seeing what you're seeing. I didn't think he would be here. I thought he was gone by the last pick. Hmm. Well, I'll tell you what, to give you a curveball, as much as I would like to take Malachi Fields here, I do like Cade Klubnik a lot, and I think this is the range that he could go. I think this is about the range that um, someone would be willing to take him, and this is the perfect system for him to sit in. I would I would be interested to see. I'll tell you what, I think we take quarterback here. I think we either take Klubnik or we take Luke Altmaier. I think both of those guys are the best fit schematically to be a Stafford replacement. And if you let them sit for a year with a third round pick, I think that those guys that organization would value that. So I'll ask you, would I am obviously very high on Klubnik. I have a just inside my top 100. And so I'm higher on him than consensus. But like, I mean, are you interested in Drew Aller? Or are you interested in Cole Payton? Where are you thinking here?
I'm higher on Drew Aller. He's my number 75 on the board. Cade Klubnik's going to come at my number 90, and that's going to be obviously the third and the fourth rated respective quarterbacks behind Mendoza and Simpson. But I don't think Drew Aller fits in the system the way that Cade Klubnik does. I wouldn't go Luke Altmaier here. I think Cade Klubnik is the pick. I know how high you are on him, so I say let's put it in.
I love it. Let's do it.
Awesome. And that'll be it for the Rams. As we'll look back at their mock draft, they took Maui Noah at 13, Jake Golday at 61, and Cade Klubnik at 93. Pete, on thoughts?
This is the balance of, okay, let's go win a Super Bowl if you're the Rams. Let's make our push. You get a right tackle right now, you get a green dot linebacker right now, who both can be very impactful day one. And you balance that with, okay, we're not going to take Simpson at 13. Let's take Klubnik at 93 and let's have someone that we can take a gamble on. I don't mean to be that guy, but Stetson Bennett is the backup quarterback for this team. And with all of the injury history, with the back history that Stafford has had, if you do get in this tough situation, I think Klubnik is absolutely smart enough to sit in that offense. If you have enough weapons around him, McVay can win with Klubnik. He can't win with Stetson Bennett. And so I think that this is a team that, if this draft were to happen, I think would nail the balance between let's go win a Super Bowl and let's invest in the future.
I like it a lot. That'll be it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in.